You need this vintage camcorder, and I know everyone is saying to go out and get this camera or go out and get that camera, but I'm here to tell you why HI8 camcorders are my absolute go-to whenever I want to shoot something and make it look a little bit different. I will also show you how I convert my analog tapes to digital so I can watch them or post them whenever I want. Let's get into it. So what is HI8 and why do I care about it so much? Well, HI8 cameras became a lot more popular in the late 1980s, and they were basically an improved version of video aid cameras. They definitely became the most popular way to record home videos because these cameras were a lot smaller and a lot more portable. This caused a massive cultural shift because now anyone could record and share movies, whether that was their family videos of their kids growing up or a 90s street skate edit. So now that you know what HI8 really is, it comes down to the question of why are so many people just now starting to get back into that style of filming? Whether that is experimenting with analog or preserving something physical, I'm gonna break down some reasons as to why everyone is now using these vintage camcorders. The first reason everyone is using HI8 cameras is that it allows for more of an experimental style when it comes to making videos. And I will break this down into a couple different aspects, but number one is the visual aesthetics. Whether you have a modern cinema camera or even just your phone, cameras nowadays look so good and you are able to manipulate them to look exactly how you want. Looking at the HI8 camcorder, you basically lose all of that. Instead of having all of this potential in post, you just hit record and then it looks how it looks, which can be refreshing because it's fun to just use a camera with less resolution and not have to think about exposure or white balance. You can just turn it on and film. Another thing that attracts people to HI8 cameras is the analog artifacts. You will have imperfections in each of your shots, and that will make them all unique. So thinking in this mindset, every time you hit record, you are prioritizing the mood and the atmosphere of your scene rather than just the technical quality. But there is one way you can actually edit your HI8 footage, and that is called circuit bending. This is where you actually mess with the circuitry of a CRTV and the camera to add glitches and distortions to your videos. And before I actually got into shooting on tapes, I felt like some of my videos were just boring, and there was just something missing. This is where mixed media comes in, and I have mentioned this before, but basically mixed media is when you mix different types of cameras and put them into one video. I use this very often, especially with things that are more of a grungy street style, because the analog footage helps break up the digital clinical feeling that you get with modern day cameras. This will make each of your shots more visually striking, as well as adding differences in the video to help your audience stay engaged. Another reason people love HI8 is because it is the best option for getting into analog filming, and I know that there are obviously a ton of different ways to record analog, whether that's 16mm film or 35mm film, but these are very expensive and you either need to pay someone or you need to learn how to develop the film. But with HI8, you can just find tapes on Amazon for a decent price. You can also see exactly what you're recording, unlike film, and you can easily convert to digital. But before we get into how I convert my footage, let's talk about the vintage feeling that tapes bring, as well as why it's nice to have an actual physical copy of your media. With there being such a cultural shift caused by these cameras, there is now a very strong correlation with HI8 and the 90s or early 2000s. And this is extremely beneficial for filmmakers because now instead of focusing all of our attention on set design or wardrobe, you can literally just use a certain camera and convey the exact time frame in your video. It's almost just a cheat code to make your work look more vintage with no extra effort. And while you can emulate this style, I believe that it is definitely one of the most difficult because there are so many unique characteristics and artifacts in each shot. But this does mean that it is very recognizable and it will stand out compared to other cameras. And on that same note, you can actually use it to make your work look worse. And when I say this, what I mean is you can have the characters use these type of cameras in your film if you want them to talk to the audience but not technically break the fourth wall. And for the last few birthdays, I have gone camping with my friends, and being a videographer, I absolutely love capturing memories. And ever since I found this HI8 camera, I have just made sure to bring it because nothing is more special than being able to store a tape for who knows how long and then be able to come back to it years in the future. And I know you can do this on digital, but having a physical copy is so much more satisfying, and it actually feels a little bit more reliable because I know that it needs to be physically damaged and it shouldn't didn't just stop working one day. So having a physical copy is nice, but in a world where everything is digital, you need to be able to somehow convert it. And I'm gonna give you guys the ways that I like to do it, and it is super simple. You only need a few things to get started. So I'm at my desk right now, and I'm gonna give you guys the equipment that I use to digitize my footage. Number one, you're gonna need the camera, obviously. If you have a newer computer, you're gonna need one of these. It's a USB-C hub. Then you will need the cable that your camera uses. This is an AV cable, so it's what transmits the audio and the video. And then lastly, you will need one of these. This is one I purchased off Amazon. I will link it in the description. Basically, this is what's gonna take your camera and link it to your computer. You're just gonna take all of your cables and then plug them into each other. We have the dock plugged into the video capture card thing, and then we have the cable that will go into the camcorder. So the first thing you want to do is turn your camera on and put it in the play mode to play videos. And then you're going to want to go into QuickTime Player, go up to the top left, click on File, and click on New Movie Recording. For me, it automatically pops up, but you're going to want to click this arrow, and then you'll see an AV to USB 2.0 and then a USB 2.0 mic. So you'll make sure both of those are going. You will then hit record on your computer, and then you will hit play on your camcorder. And then as you can see, it will start playing. This is honestly like the simplest way I've found to digitize my footage. The only thing is you have to run the tape all the way back to the beginning, or at least where you started recording. And then you have to let it play through because you are screen recording with the camera sees. So you let it play through and you just wait for it. And then once it's done, you save the entire tape to one project. And then when you throw it in your timeline or your editing software, you'll just pick pieces out of the whole video. So yeah, that's how I convert my footage from analog to digital. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully this inspired you to go out and get yourself a tapes camera, or at least a different medium than you're used to. And if you want some more tips, then definitely go check out this video where I talk about the things that I wish I knew when getting into videography. But I appreciate each one of you guys, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next Monday. Also, kind of funny, as I was filming this video, I was trying to convert the tapes and my camera broke, so I actually don't have a VHS camera anymore, which sucks, but I'm gonna go get me another one because I love this style. See you guys next Monday.